Hey everyone, my name is Crazy M and I thought I'd do a video talking about my thoughts and concerns on the Battlefield 4 that has been revealed at the multiplayer demo at E3 and all the things that we saw there. This is in no way a list of all the things that changed, so if you're looking for that, check out some of Level Cap or Matimio stuff or some stuff like that, and this is just gonna be some of my concerns about the game or maybe even things that I like. So the first big change is that we're now gonna have 5-man squads. An idea that is quite neat, I gotta say. I don't have anything against it, and I think it really will focus the gameplay more on squad gameplay, which will make it easier to play as a team, and then squads will do different tasks, and this should work quite well. The only concern I have is that if you think about it, then you have a 32 player team divided by 5 will give 6 squads of 5 players, and there will be 2 players left, and that is not really something that will work out well unless they're doing some changes in the player count, but I haven't heard anything about that. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that will work out. With the new squad system, they introduced a new field upgrade system, pretty much the specializations that we had in Battlefield 3, only that now you choose a path, and by getting squad points you unlock the field upgrades one after one. Another neat system that incentivizes players to play as a team, and that is a good change in my opinion. With the new Battlefield 4, they will have a new class balance, only a slightly bit, but still. There's one change that is quite a neat thing, is that the recon gets a lot more power. The recon now has the C4, and he also gets back the motion balls from Bad Company 2, which is a great thing, and the recon will be much more playable now. And everything else pretty much stays the same, only that the support player also gets a new tube, and this is quite ridiculous because support players have unlimited ammo, and a new tube with unlimited ammo doesn't lead to a good thing in the end. They also changed the way that gadgets work. You can now take whatever gadget you want in whatever slot, so you have 2 gadget slots and you can take whatever you want. So if you think back to Battlefield 3, you had to go mines and then you had to sacrifice your repair tool, for example, but now you could take mines and repair tool and it would be no problem at all. You also changed carbines. Carbines are now all class weapons, and this is a change that I don't agree with, because carbines are pretty decent weapons in my opinion, and to give even more all class weapons will make classes less specific, and I think that's not really what class balance should be about. Just giving everyone the same weapons is not really a solution. The support player now has a lot more to do and has a bigger role. The reason for this is that the way that ammo works changed. So now you don't get your magazine, your bullets back if you reload on a half empty mag. So this will mean that you will run out of ammo much sooner, and that you also have to think about reloading. And all in all, it's making the game more difficult, but I like the change. Also that support players have now a really important role to keep the team going. The ammo change goes as well for vehicles, but it's a little bit different there. Ammo replenishes over time, but slower. So you have, say, 2 mags, whatever vehicle that might be, and after you run out of them, we will have to retreat and wait for ammo to reload. And that's also a change that will make stuff a lot more tactical. Now on to some more game mechanics that have been changed. The first one, which is quite a big change, is that the suppression system has been tweaked quite a lot, and in my opinion, for the good. So suppression will be far less, especially from normal assault rifles and carbines and stuff like that. It will be really low, and mainly a blur of the screen from what I've seen, and not that minor as it was before. However, LMGs and sniper rifles still have the abilities to suppress quite a bit, which is a good thing because it gives more role to those classes. But there will be less added bullet deviation if you suppressed, and will be more of a visual thing, like the screen goes blurry and you can't see that as well and stuff like that, but your bullets will still hit where you shoot them, and that's definitely a good thing. Another thing that has been changed is the recoil a little bit, and from what I've seen is that weapons have a little bit more recoil, making it even more difficult to control them, and the bullet drop is a little bit more. I don't know if I want to agree with that choice, but it definitely will change things up a bit and will be more interesting, and I don't think it will be bad, but maybe I will prefer the way that recall worked in Battlefield 3. But maybe it also gives them more of an option to distinctive guns from one another with having more recall options, so to say. So this is going to be interesting, and also will make maybe gadgets that work for recall compensation a lot more valuable than before, because if you were good you can control the recoil anyways, so no need for like a flash suppressor or something like that. So maybe this will balance out attachments a little bit more. So we'll see how that plays out. Another thing that has been changed a lot is the way that water combat works. So as I guess all of you know, is that DICE has made a big focus on water combat, and they're adding new stuff with the new combat boats and all that stuff. But also you can now sprint swim, you can shoot your sidearm when you're in the water, you can knife when in the water, you can dive underwater, and all of that stuff is really a neat thing to see, and it really will just add to the game. And it's awesome that they're finally realized that this is what needs to be done, because as of right now in Battlefield 3 you're sitting duck went in the water, and it was high time that there was a change for that. I've already mentioned it, the knife system has been reworked, and now you can counter knife if someone knifes you. And in the multiplayer demo you could even counter knife if you were knifed from behind, but I've heard the devs say that it only should be able if you were knifed from the front, but I've also heard otherwise, so we'll see what will be true in the end. So I hope that it will only be you can only counter knife when you've been knifed from the front, because otherwise it would be ridiculous. Because if somebody manages to sneak up on you, he should be able to get your dog tags and not be just fooled with a counter knife in the end. A thing that hasn't been changed much is the sniper glint. And so the sniper clip will be still in the game. It looked like it was a little less, but I wouldn't count on it, so we'll see how bad that is. But I've seen in an attachments list that there will be something called sniper glint or scope glint attachments, so there might be an option to hide that, and I will have a video of that up in the next couple of days, maybe the next week, something like that. It will be interesting to see if that really comes. Another thing that hasn't changed is, or maybe has only changed a little bit, is the whole lock-on system. So you have still like your Stinger, your Iglas, your Heat Seekers, and in my opinion it would have been really neat if they had made a step forward and really improved on that and made a whole new system out of that. So because right now the lock-on stuff is not really a skill-based thing, and it's just, yeah, you lock on, you fire, and that's it. But we'll see, maybe they will change some stuff till the final release, and maybe it will be quite decent. But yeah, it looks like it's gonna be the same. As the next big point, we have the commander mode, and what should I say? Some people love it, some people hate it. I think we will have to wait and see how it works out, if there are actual people who can take advantage of that, and if there's not only just some unskilled player sitting in there and just wasting resources. The good thing is that it has been confirmed that the commander mode, at least for PC, will be a server-side option, so if it turns out that this thing doesn't work out at all, it can be turned off. So no worries there from my side. We know it can only be good addition. If it doesn't work, just get rid of it, and that's it. So the neat thing about Commander is that I think if it works out right, it will really force team play and squad play. Because the way it works is that the Commander gives an order to the squad leader, and then the squad leader can reject that order or accept it, and then the squad leader has to kind of maneuver with his squad to that point, to that objective, and whatever it is he has to do. The neat thing is that with this they're also introducing voice chat on PC, and this is really a good change, and it will be interesting to see if players really pick up on that and use their mics and work together. And I think it could be really a good gameplay experience, working together as a squad, and the squad leader says, okay guys, we gotta get Bravo, okay, we're gonna move through together, a couple of you go left, a couple of you go right, and it's gonna be a really good experience. I think I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that it all works out and that everybody is really keen on playing together as a team, and it's gonna be really a lot of fun. On another note though, some people asked or had concerns if the commander mode, if the commander would be overpowered or has too much power so that he could influence the game in a bad way if he's a bad commander. I personally think DICE wouldn't want to go down a route that they will let one person ruin a complete game, so it's gonna be rather safe in my opinion, but it may not. But what you've seen from the multiplayer demo, if you've seen that, you cannot take that as a basis because the real time for all the things that the commander do have changed. And also, the commander relies on what his guys do on the ground and what his team does in the game. So the more objectives they capture and the more stuff they do, the more orders they follow, I guess maybe, the more stuff he can do, the more things he unlocks to, the more ability he gets. For example, on AC-130, a UAV, an EMP, which is basically a counter UAV, and also supply drops and Tomahawk missiles. You know, I hope that this really makes it so that the commander is the guy who helps his team, and not that he's just some kind of standalone game, which I guess the tablet version of this kinda introduces. You know, you're just sitting there, you're playing a game, and you're just completely separate from what is going on in the real game, and that is, I guess, a bad thing. You know, I want the commander to be in the game, to help his guys, to listen to his squad leaders, what they say, what we're needing. Okay, they say we need somebody there, we need a tank there, and whatever. And I hope really that the commander really gets a good connection with all the other players, because other than that, I think it would be just a waste of time. A big term of the Battlefield 4 reveal was Levolution, and you might like that name or not, but basically what it stands for is that there's gonna be quite a bit of destruction in the game, and you may say, okay, that's what should have been in Battlefield 3 anyways, and I agree with you, but in the end we shouldn't be angry now that we get it, because it's a good thing. And I guess all of you have seen the tower coming down and the pillar under the road that you can shoot out, and then the road will collapse and stuff like that, and it's pretty much a neat thing, and I love to see the whole destruction thing going on, and also the debris that was flying in the air and all that stuff. It looked really good and I liked it a lot. A really neat thing that I think they've done is add these little gimmicky action things. For example, the bollards on the bridge that you can activate or deactivate so tanks can drive through, and also in some of the shops you can lower the shutters so you have a little bit of shelter. Of course they can be blown out, but it's still a little neat thing, and it just adds to the whole game, and you won't use that all the time, I guess, but in some occasions it might come in really handy. A big question concerning Levolution is how strong will it be implemented in every map. As we all know, the big tower falling in Caspian Border was a pretty big thing at the release of Battlefield 3, but in the end this pretty much was bound to one map, and it didn't happen on other maps that much. And DICE already said that it's gonna be really map specific, like these big events like the tower falling. But they also mentioned in one interview that there would be a dam exploding and then water coming out and all this stuff. And I hope that you really push and try to implement like these big events on every map as much as possible. So as a conclusion, what can we say? A lot of people mean that Battlefield 4 is just Battlefield 3 a little bit more polished. And this is true, but I ain't even really mad at that. Why? Because Battlefield 3 was an awesome game and it deserves to have a second round and be more polished. After that you will have to change the game up again, but I think this really will bring Battlefield where it should be, and it will be the Battlefield that Battlefield 3 should have been. Less bugs, way more customization, lots of camos and attachments and all the goodies, and all in all just a really polished gameplay experience with things that are working and not broken like some stuff in Battlefield 3. So we've come pretty much to an end now, but there are some things that I want to get out there that are more a bit of a news about Battlefield 4, and the first thing is that there are gonna be weapons that you're gonna be able to pick up in the game, at least in the Siege of Shanghai map, and this was leaked from the alpha, so there are weapons that you can pick up. They're hidden in some boxes. I don't know too much details about it, and the two weapons that are known are the M82 a 50 cal sniper rifle and an M32 grenade launcher, like the one that we saw in the single player trailer with the scope and the drum mag. And so yeah, we will see how that works out. As far as I've heard it, the ammo will not be replenished replenishable on that one, sorry. And so they won't be like those weapons you pick them up and you have them all game. You can only use them for a short amount of time, and I guess that balances out a little bit. But overall, I don't really like the idea of that. But in the end, I guess they're gonna be pretty much a rare item and not something that you just will go for every round. There are also said to be 3 new game modes in Battlefield 4, which are called Playground, Elimination and Obliteration. What those are, I don't have any idea. I guess nobody has. We just have to wait and see, and maybe they will turn out quite well. So yeah guys, if you enjoyed that video, please leave me a like. If you have some ideas about Battlefield 4, leave them in the comments. If you want to see more, subscribe. And as always guys, I wish you a very nice day, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.